Mr. Thomas.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Oh, all right, rushing.
Well, I came in a little early. I brought you a couple more chairs.
I see the red chairs. That's so cool. Thank you.
They're nice. They really are.
Oh, absolutely. There's a joke Bob told me about red chairs
Oh?
that he dealt with in the military. So every time I see a red chair, I think of that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, there's the red chairs.
What's the joke? Can you tell me?
Oh, it was something to do with the military, and they replaced the office chairs with red leather chairs, and then they got rid of them, and each chief, sergeant or whatever got a red leather chair, and then all of a sudden they all disappeared because they didn't like them, and I don't know, Bob was telling something he actually experienced in the military about a red leather chair.
Well, these aren't leather, so they may not fall under
They're
that
awful
thing.
bright red though, so oh, it looks like so. It's like everybody has a cushion now. It's so nice.
Those are really nice. I didn't know whether you wanted them over here or over there.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you want them over here?
No, it doesn't matter.
I mean, I can bring them over here.
It's great.
I didn't know whether you wanted them in there or not.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
Thank you.
I see my glue job didn't hold up.
Yeah, someone came in. Oh, who's usually here? I can never remember her name, the teacher. Mary Cobb's husband came in. He's like, oh, we were gonna glue that. I'm like, well, you did. Oh, you did? And he's looking at he's like, you did it. I'm like, oh, I didn't even notice. But.
No, I glued it. The glue held further back, but it didn't hold out on the edge here.
Way better than what we had.
It looks
nice. Awesome.
Yep.
Oh, Dwight, he got the bleach to it. Oh, yeah. He stick and stand that table. Oh,
good.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Let me grab it, too. Get a better audio.
What are you doing with that now?
I'm going to do Facebook Live.
Oh.
So people can log in and listen to the meeting. And this little doohickey is supposed to reach 11.5 feet. So
That's the microphone?
that's the microphone.
Oh.
It's supposed to have a wicked radius to it, and I can't use two because the computer won't, it gets confused, so I'm going to try it.
What's been happening with the other problem? I mean, I couldn't even hear them when I looked at it the last time.
On the Facebook Live?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had two of them plugged in, and it reverted to the computer mic, and it was just a mess.
Wouldn't pick it up.
Then I tried Debbie's karaoke microphone. No one would get in, use it, so we got that. That's the best thing I got so far, so we're going to try it.
Yeah, 11 feet. That should be pretty good.
Yep. So, give it a shot. How's Sharon? I haven't seen her in a long time.
She's been pretty busy. We've been still trying to get everything situated down at the Chadbourne house.
Oh, I bet.
I've still got work to do upstairs there, wiring and moving, get things set up, and she spends a lot of time there.
You guys are always busy, aren't you?
There's always something. Oh, thanks.
Yep.
Hey, I saw this is online now.
Yeah.
Is that the first time, or?
No.
I have never seen it online.
On Facebook?
Well, no, I don't do Facebook.
Oh, on
the community website.
website?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I try to remember to post it.
Yeah. This is good.
Just so people can gauge whether or not they want to come or not.
Well, it makes a difference.
And Matt tries to send it to me ahead of time so I can post it from planning board, so.
Oh, yeah. Hey there.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I didn't even ask you yet, and you agreed. That's good.
You have witnessed that I agreed.
You did.
I'm done for.
You're cooked, boy. How you doing?
Okay.
What's up?
Oh, I don't know. Not too much.
No way.
The report was good, straight.
Good. Keep you busy.
I looked up the tax.
I wondered about that.
$1,852.
Jeez. Wow. That's not bad.
No.
I mean,
For a prime corner lot,
yeah.
the building's not great, but it's a building.
It's a nice little building.
Yeah,
Wait till you
I looked
inside.
at the windows.
Oh, you did, yeah?
Yeah.
It's nice in there. They did a nice little job. If I can remember correctly, it's like a little kitchen area. So you can have like a coffee pot and sandwiches or something.
Yeah.
The bathroom, I think, has been redone.
Yeah, I know 4 or 5 years ago, it didn't have that.
That would have been about the time that they bought it and, started fixing it up, I think, about 5 years ago, I'd say. Oh, no, it's been longer than that. I had some pictures.
There was somebody in there briefly when I saw it.
Professional. After they got close.
No, you can take that one.
Well, I think so, I know Larry Davis was doing something like that.
Wesley? Mr. Chad?
Golden crowd tonight.
Yeah.
But that price is pretty good.
Yeah.
What's up, Wes? You certainly are. Or you should be. Did I forget you? We'll put you right at the bottom, is that okay? We'll just put you at the bottom.
With you and DEP?
No, we'll put you right at the bottom. When they ask you
Oh.
if anything's new,
Okay.
you can tell, I had you on there, what? I apologize.
I'll step you there, step you there. All right. Closing the water. First thing on the agenda is approve and review September 21st, 2021 minutes.
Move that they be accepted as written.
I'll second it.
Second it. All in favor? What is that, again?
You should have it on the up.
Okay. Oh, okay. And review and approve October 5th, 2021 warrant.
I make a motion we
Second.
All in favor?
I don't see nothing radical or nothing.
No.
Hey, when did they start doing the street light change out?
Oh, I'd have to pull my records off and stuff.
I think we got early last spring, or last year. We submitted the application.
I'm just looking at the expense report, it looks like maybe we're gonna run, if we continue on the current rate, maybe about $6,000 or $7,000 for streetlights. I thought it would drop way down.
Well, it was paying 9,000,
Right.
so it's going from 9,000 to 6,000.
Well, I estimate it was a little higher than that, but I thought it would have dropped down to like maybe 2,000 or 3,000.
No, they told us there'd be a savings on it.
Well, there is some, it looks like,
They worked on them through the summer, right?
What's that?
They worked on them through the summer.
Yeah, yeah.
curious.
Okay, first one, I review and sign. This is the same as procedure.
Yep.
Yeah. So there must be approved letter to Hertz. So I'm like,
I move that we approve the letter and sign.
Second it.
all in favor?
See where it takes us.
Uh-oh.
Danielle.
I used the one, didn't I, with Jeff?
Yeah. I'm looking for my name going,
But I have it on my computer, I'll do it real quick.
I confused you with that one.
I was all good, I'm like, hey, accept, let's go. Very good. Yeah.
What I do when I draft these is I'm grabbing off from my old list of stuff. And
Oh,
I'm
okay.
get a new, template.
Okay, I will do that, you guys, go on.
All right, let's find out.
Gonna wait for the new copy, don't we?
Yeah. Unless you wanna go with Jeff, that won't work. Uh-oh.
What now? I was gonna say, it shouldn't be anything.
Hmm. Yeah.
Those are good times.
All right. Procedural ordinance discussion.
Tree growth?
No, growth ordinance. Growth ordinance, all right. I added the three in it. Well, this is something we have to review every year.
I don't know what tonight's discussion is about, but, once a year, we are required to review the growth ordinance. And have a finding of whether it's, we stay with the existing growth limits, or whether it should change. And if we find that it should change, then it goes back to the public to, vote on a new ordinance after a process of setting new limits or so.
Mm-hmm.
I put that on there for discussion, because we have not received it. So.
Right. Have you had any people ask you about wall building permits?
I've had one, since we maxed out at 15 at the end of July, and I've had one inquire over the phone about it. They bought land and seeking a permit, and I told them the situation that we had the growth ordinance and we filled it, and they'd have to wait till January. I didn't get any repercussions on it. They, you know, they were looking for a permit. I didn't know if they were looking for it this fall or next year anyhow. I'd like to comment a little something about it. We have a maximum 15, and I'm concerned about the rate of growth of this town. It's a country town, and in last year's town report, I made some mention about the growth and about creek or sprawl coming out of the city, and our comprehensive plan needs a little updating. I have a cautious opinion about that we ought to hold where it is and not increase for the time being until we do something about comprehensive plan and bring the ordinance more up to date to match the comprehensive plan. And obviously, if we're going to doctor the comprehensive plan to make it more current, we need some sort of input from the residents to get their feeling. Do they want to be more city or urban, or stay country like this, and how do we go about it? And if we stimulate growth in the industry here, as versus stimulate growth of residents, where does it bring us? I think growing in residents will demand more fire department, more law coverage. Where if we grow in industry, it's just isolated buildings, but with a parking lot, and the workers come and go. If we increase industry enough for the right nature, the right size, it will also contribute to contributing to more residents here, because people would move out to live closer to their job location, and so more residents would be here. So it's really a complicated answer. You know, growth versus infrastructure to support it versus taxes to support it. Where do we go? I think we ought to hold growth at 15 until we solve these other items that affect it.
Well, I think Wes's comment is good, is that the growth ordinance should go hand in hand with the comprehensive plan. And right now, it seems to be in sync, because if you read the comprehensive plan as it currently exists, the aim is to limit growth, and remain rural.
I think I've shared with you that I had a conversation with a contractor near the end of July that I think they said Scarborough gave out 65 permits a year, and they've topped it out already. Falmouth gave out 85 a year, and they've topped it already. And when we got 100 a year, and they're smart, they distribute 9 per month, so it's about 100 a year. So compare their growth to our growth, we're lucky we're only 15.
So we have the growth ordinance that limits how many building permits we can issue for new homes. We also have the subdivision ordinance, which limits how quickly land can be subdivided. And,
The subdivision is controlled within the growth. I can only give out 4 residential permits within a subdivision up to October. If there's any left over in October, then it can be distributed for subdivision growth.
well, based on that, I think that, the growth ordinance is in sync with everything else. What I don't know is what the general population, if that's what they want. And I don't think you'll know that until you go through a revision of the comprehensive plan that lays out what the goals of the town are.
If there would be a surge of growth of residents in this town or any of the other SID 55 towns, it would not have an immediate effect upon the school, because the school has decreased in population by 100 in the past 5 or 6 years. And so they could take back 100, and they could probably take back 200 before they say we need an addition or something like that, or whatever. So that's out of the formula right now.
So, I know that some people wanna build homes, but they can't, but, that's the restrictions, so.
We're gonna have that. Bob had mentioned about legislation about bringing in tiny homes or something like that, a second resident on a property.
Accessory dwellings.
Yeah, accessory dwellings. And that will automatically increase the population, right?
I don't think so, not necessarily.
No, if it's a family relative that moves in.
But
We
I think
all have a lot of family relatives who love to move in.
I don't know what the ordinance will say about the tiny homes, but accessory, dwellings still need a building permit, I think, they're gonna build something, right?
I had a chicken coop that I cleaned up and made into a little residence for my great nephew, who was wandering the streets of Cornish, needed a place to sleep. He lived there for about 1.5 years, moved out, and it's vacant, but we did have one woman stay there, but when she moved in, we said, you gotta be out by April 1st, that's 7 months. We treated it like a trailer, temporary residence.
Anyway,
Well, it's good we're bringing it up and talking about it now a little bit anyways. In the comprehensive plan, you guys are gonna start working on that a little bit anyways.
Well, we plan to have a joint meeting with you, I think,
yep,
what we talked about.
I was just gonna say that,
but I would move that we keep the growth ordinance as currently written for the following year.
One of that's also the 15.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'll second that.
Like I say, at least we're talking about it.
Yep.
I think we're gonna have to raise it by a couple sometime. Myself, that's, because, the surrounding towns around us are getting hit.
I had one complaint about it.
And I know where it
From
comes
an
from.
excavator,
Yeah.
saying, well, now I'm out of business, or half out of business, because I can't dig foundations and earn money.
Yeah.
There's other towns around that, so, I mean, Baldwin isn't the only place we work, so that.
Expands your horizons.
You're right.
Okay, I've been in this position 7 years, and each year it's been 8 or 9 houses, except for these last 2 years, so 5 of the years have been 8, 9 houses, there's 45 houses. And we had 30 more in 2 years, so now we're up to 75 houses in 7 years. 75.
Yep.
And that's slow growth. And compared to the other ground, so you gotta be careful.
Yeah, those are gonna keep it the way it is.
Is that a board vote that you're gonna keep this the way it is?
We haven't voted yet.
All in favor? Review and approve supplementals. Blueberry Hill, must be down there, I think it's wildlife. 13E, yeah, I think it's wildlife, A-O-W. Like 13E. Statement. They must have taken the camper off the site. I was down there last weekend.
This one I heard.
Yeah. Could've used you down there, help me back my camper out of the spot, unusual site. Drive in, and you back up, and when you leave, you drive out and back down a narrow road. My wife isn't that great at things. Give directions. I said, you gotta stay in my mirror, I can't see you.
I hate that when somebody directs you, you can out of your mirror.
Yeah. Didn't you hear me? I said, no. The window was up, it was raining, but.
Is this the one down by the river? That you guys went and looked at?
No,
Travel trailer?
no,
No, different one?
this is Sacred to Wildlife.
No, this is the one on Blueberry Hill.
That's
They both there?
I didn't see the one listed for the river. Isn't there only two?
Two abatements, yeah. Then one supplement.
No. Not the river. That's on people on the trip.
So what's this property, personal property account, presents this one? Who's the right owner?
When did Barrington buy this piece of property?
That's the one I just passed to you.
There's nothing on this.
There's a sheet that go on top of it. It said that it was assessed to Brent Anderson as, it says,
Real estate, incorrect owner.
incorrect owner, right, so this must be Barrington's property. And then here's the, so here's, it gets a hit to the Barrington. The supplemental gets Barrington with it, and that's where
Oh,
you
yeah.
get to,
Yeah.
There's like 4 addresses or 3 things to sign.
I think I've signed in all the right places.
Okay. Community center funds. Oh, that's a donation. Where to spend that?
Is there a deadline on spending those funds, or you guys gonna treat it like a reserve?
I don't think there was a deadline on it, was it?
Have we even got the funds yet?
We have the check, and I don't know how Debbie's treating it, I just didn't want it to go in fund balance, so
Yeah.
I just wanted to
I have a suggestion,
That,
that we use it to, for mold abatement if there is a problem.
Mm-hmm.
But, I
Yeah,
don't know how far to go, but
We got mold abatement, we got a couple ceiling problems. We've got paint that needs to be done.
I know some trim.
We've got a couple rotten trim boards.
I think the mold would be priority.
since it can be a public health problem.
Yeah.
You got kids in there, and
Yeah.
some people are very sensitive to it.
Mm-hmm.
I think we ought to have it checked. The guy that was from the insurance company that I went around with here the other day, when I went in with him, he told me if you can smell it, chances are you've got a problem, but it might be acceptable. Yeah,
Is it
yeah.
a level of mold that's acceptable?
Well, there's a certain amount. I know a lady that just had a sewer pipe break in a cellar, and she had to have the Serv Pro come out and do everything, and clean everything up, and, you know, she was worried about mold in the cellar and stuff, and wanted an issue. So, but we won't know until we have it tested.
Right, they're coming out, so, I only heard back from one company, and they're gonna just look and assess the area, then they're gonna do a cost estimate for cutting it, then they're gonna do a cost estimate for getting in it, checking it, then they're gonna do another cost estimate for taking care of it, so, they just look, the first, appointment, they're just gonna look at the area.
I know they have a infrared camera that can, if it gives off a certain amount of heat.
Huh.
The company my wife worked for, is in Gray, and then I can point at the wall, and if there's certain type of color coming out of the wall, and there's mold present.
Maybe we can discuss this at the budget meeting, so it's kept aside, so we don't, it doesn't go into fund balance, that's what I was kinda bringing it up for.
Yeah.
I don't know where
I
it
think
lives
we,
right
I
now.
think we've extended it off, and let's see.
Well,
At the end of December, is that gonna go, is everything gonna dump?
well, I guess I'll think about it, I'll come up with a proposal on how to treat it, so it's.
Yeah, I ought to go to the reserve account or something.
Yeah, we have a building reserve account, I believe. So, I'll look at it, come up with some kind of a solution to that, dedicated to the building.
The American plan, have we got any funds from that yet at all?
I am still waiting, we have a portal, we're all set up inside it. I'm waiting for information from Debbie, we have to give them a list of operating funds and capital funds. She's waiting to hear back from the auditor to give me those two reports so I can upload it to this portal. That's the only piece I'm waiting, and then at the bottom it looks, cause you can't keep going until you do that first page. I think that's the end of it, and you hit, send.
Well, that's another
So-
one, we don't want to get rid of fund balance if we can help it.
Yep. So I just need that one piece by the end of October to get this in so we get the ARPA funds.
If you have some extra money there, you could build some pickleball courts. We talked about it a couple of years ago,
Right?
and we never got around to it. Hopefully, we're gonna get back into being able to use the community center again. And, it was something that we wanted to do at one point, and there was quite a bit of interest at that time.
We have two brand new pickleball courts and the new tennis courts over at the high school.
Oh, really?
Don't get me going on them. I've had my year been on them, it costs to line them out and stuff.
Yeah.
Who owns them?
Well, that's what the problem was, is that the rec council was supposed to come up with so much money, then the other one said they was gonna come up with money, and they didn't come up with the money, then now somebody's got a $5,000 bill they gotta come up with. So I've been told.
Alrighty. Next thing, budget review, next meeting. When to prepare the warrant.
What was our timeline?
First week in November, it should go to Cardinal if we're gonna do mailers to all the residents. So it gives them a whole month to print, send before the first week in December, which is town meeting.
So we're at best a couple weeks away of finalizing something.
Yep.
I mean, I think we're pretty close, I just
Well,
need to get everybody to kind of nod on the assumptions here.
well, I think it looks pretty good. Fine tune it, or,
Well, there's, several assumptions here,
oh yeah, I'll check too.
the, what was it? Fire truck maintenance, with our discussions with, Bruce, we increased it. Normally, in a normal year, we have 10,000, so for the half year, we put in 10,000 because he's had a number of problems with his trucks. It's just for the 6th period, I don't know what we'll do after that, but 6-month period. And I put in $20,000 for the fire department study, but I don't know what it's really gonna be. It's just a placeholder, and then I put in $4,000 for new signs. These are all new things. Several things don't do paving in the first 6 months, so it left that blank. And then, there was two important assumptions. From the undesignated fund balance, there's 46,000. And then from the reserve account, they had transferred in 40,000. And I took all my notes here. I can't remember which reserve account that was. I'll get to it, but it was one that we're not one we're not likely to spend anyway. It's just been sitting there for years. But I can't think of it off the top of my head.
I know, you brought it up the other day.
Yeah, and, but the 46,000, I'll tell you, I'm a mental block here. I have a note in the printed thing, but.
What about the lease plow truck?
The lease plow truck, no payment because that is due after the 1st of July.
Okay.
I didn't know how to treat, the Tri-Town stuff, so I just put in half of a payment. You know, normally we do 15,000.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that's where we stand, and it looks like the mill rate's about where we're looking for on an annualized basis, about 13.3, close. For 6 months, it's this number right there.
Scary.
It is scary, it's a bad number. God. Can't think what that was. But anyway. So, I don't know if you just wanna go with it that way. Fine, I think most of it's pretty straightforward. Hopefully in the next week or two, we'll get the fire department study sorted out. Hopefully that number will go down.
Mm-hmm.
I suspect there'll be some adjustments at the town meeting anyway.
Well, they don't want to know why on some of this stuff.
Yeah, well, I suggested maybe we hold a kind of a public hearing or something, just to explain to people in advance of the town meeting the rationale, otherwise you're gonna be there
Yeah, you're right.
all day.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Dwight, we've been through it, right? So, it's something to think about. But you can do that in November, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'll write something up about the money from the undesignated fund balance and the reserve accounts, but I would say, I think I've already got it in the written warrant. It talks about transferring in and stuff, but anyway. Sorry. I've been the last 2 days trying to change the transmission in my car, so I don't.
Oh, gee. Yeah.
All right.
So, good for now then, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So when are we gonna meet, guys? I talked to Debbie, 2 PM works better for her, during the week. So, can we schedule something, 'cause
Next week, week after,
Next week's fine.
here's the calendar. We'll close Monday for
Well,
Indigenous
Monday.
Day.
You got a workshop Tuesday,
Yep.
Wednesday. And one more Thursday.
Wednesday's good for me.
Wednesday's excellent.
Wednesday's good.
Wednesday's 13th.
Okay.
And Brian, you want Brian here, right?
I'd like to, he didn't show up last week. I just don't want him to be surprised.
Are you all set with Bruce? Is Bruce
I think so, he was gonna check on, the question of, I think the salaries. We put that off until the next budget, because, they don't get paid until the end of the year,
Right.
even though it's accrued. I was gonna look on the,
You get paid just before Christmas, I think.
yeah, I think we're okay with that. I'll have to look at the, audit report. There's something about accrual accounting and stuff.
Okay, then. Now, being a fire department stuff.
All right, well, we're getting closer. We've got several iterations on the statement of work. I think I told you we settled on Neil Courtney as the, fire protection specialist, and we're still kind of focusing on the statement of work and how he's gonna integrate, work from Port City architecture. Neil wanted to do just a functional organizational type review, and, whereas previously, Port City had worked with, the fire chief to, do just a look at the fire houses. We're trying to get a more comprehensive study, one that does both. So we're going back and forth, trying to refine the statement of work and get a proper mix of the two, but I think we're gonna get there.
Yeah.
So far though, Port City, I think they're doing what we want them to do, has dropped his part of the work to $5,400, whereas I think it was $8,000 before. But we don't have the main portion of the study, which talks about organization and processes, procedures, workforce, apparatus, so forth. So that's where we stand. Hopefully by the end of the month, we'll be at a point where we can come to an agreement. And, I'm almost certain we're gonna need more money than has been approved, so. Might be that we can't start it until the new year, depends.
All right, overview of the rail trails, Dwight.
I had a Zoom meeting with the state. The guy grew up right in Hiram, this Nate guy, Nate Bolton. You know him, Joe? No.
Yeah.
It was interesting talking to him and listening to him and stuff.
I went to school with him.
With Nate Bolton?
Yeah. They can, about my age.
I'd say he's, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was interesting to listen to some of these people talk. Some of these people, you know, they follow this as dear to their heart and the rail and stuff like that. But one guy, he he wants to see Amtrak go from Portland up through the Mountain Division to St. Johnsbury, Vermont, over to White River Junction, Vermont, where Amtrak is already running, you know, down through Vermont and stuff. So there was some ideas thrown out there and stuff. Then I found out why Wyndham has got a rail trail and Freiburg has a rail trail. They're the two cheapest, flattest places to do anything on the whole Mountain Division line. That was the bottom line, right there. Freiburg jumped all over it and stuff like that. They wanted it to go, so that's why they got on the bandwagon. There's three, not only is the Mountain Division rail being looked at, the rail from Augusta to Brunswick, and the rail from, I think it was Cumberland to Rumford. That rail up through there, they're looking at that too, so. I don't know where this money's gonna be spent, I don't know where the money's coming from yet. And I don't know, there's no ATVs on either one of these rail trail things, so I don't know what's gonna happen. And they've already said, like, you take like down the back of my house, the railroad's built up about 30 feet. And if they gotta put on a 15-foot right-of-way for something, that's gonna be very expensive. So, there's a lot of ideas thrown out there and stuff. There's another meeting on the 28th, and we'll see what comes out of that meeting. So, that's pretty much in a nutshell what we...
Are they talking about taking the rails up entirely and making a trail?
Yeah, they've talked about that, but it has to stay available to go back by rail, by state standards, because they got easements over the land and stuff. But that's some of the stuff that they're talking about. Is it gonna stay rail? Is it going to be a trail with the rail? Or there's a lot of issues and stuff. You know, there isn't much room to walk on that trestle in the back of the library.
There's more than one. There's two or three that are going down through there.
Yeah.
All the way down past underneath the brook, by the Burnell Tavern back there, there's a big drop there. And between there and back this way, there's another big drop. There's barely room for a bicycle. I've ridden that trail and I had to walk my bicycle across one of them one time. It just drops right straight off.
Every town was represented. There was a lady from Brownfield there. Danny Hester was from Hiram. The town manager from Freiburg was there. Zach Mosier was supposed to be there from Standish, and I don't know what happened to him. He didn't get onto the call at all, so. It was interesting listening and talking, see what some of these people had to say. Some of them I think are big ideas, but.
Yeah, contract.
Yeah, well, it
A lot of
just,
work to do that.
you know, the most expensive thing in the world you can carry is people. And that railroad is not set up for people with 85-pound rail. I mean, most rail now with people are, it's at least 110-pound rail. You know, it's mostly welded rail now, so it'd be quite a job.
I went to one of those meetings over 20 years ago, and it doesn't sound like it's changed a heck of a lot.
Rick Bennett is trying to push this along a little, Mike, and stuff. So we'll see what happens and stuff. What it'll do, it'll generate a report to the commissioner, to the state of Maine for transportation. Then he'll decide what's gonna take place.
Having no knowledge of what goes into it, especially the cost, to have something like that and have it for exercise for the health of the population is wonderful. But if follows a population of 1,400 and only 100 people take part, you're spending a tremendous amount of money to satisfy 7% of the population. Not worth it.
You'd be surprised the number of people who want it though.
Yeah. I don't know. That's purely opinion and guesswork on my part. 100 people, 7%.
Yeah.
I've been through Freiburg. I haven't seen mobs going up and down their railroad.
I think
One person jogging along and one person bicycling along, and that's it.
it might get more crowded or popular if it goes from all the way from, say, Portland up to Freiburg, you know, people can.
It would draw more and be more popular if it's promoted.
Yeah.
Advertised.
Sure, yeah. Yeah.
It's a big question mark in my mind.
friend of mine, he already rides his bike in South Williamsville,
Yeah.
in the bike trail down there, and he does that. It'd be much like a challenge for somebody to go all the way, Portland, all the way up to.
Well, there's no rail from Wyndham to Portland right now.
Right, yeah.
They pulled all that rail up,
Oh, yeah.
you know, so, I mean, there's,
Are they, like fiber, are they able to keep the four-wheelers and motorcycles off of it?
yeah. They have a plan, they have in Wyndham. So, I mean, it's, we got some unique characteristics up here and stuff. We don't have a police department like they have either.
That's
You know,
right.
so-
Yeah, the ATVs, they're not gonna like that.
No, they're not. But they're also tearing stuff up pretty bad.
Sure.
So we gotta play it by ear and see how it goes.
Yeah. Alright. Review Maine DEP water quality results. Sign off and keep.
Can you explain what the report says?
So I talked to Nick Mayhew from the Maine DEP, and he got the results. He took a sample before the filtration system, and he took a sample after the filtration system. Both reports are there. The sample before the filtration system has 2 VOC hits in detect. The sample after the filtration system has no detect whatsoever. So he says the filtration system is obviously working. The DEP is done with the site, and they're basically decommissioning it. There is a filter system that the DEP did put in the boiler system, the boiler room. And what that form is on the first page is basically the town can take ownership of the filter system. He says it's a lot cheaper for the town to do that, because otherwise we're gonna have to cut pipes and do plumbing and take it out. He says it's better just to leave it in. So that form there is basically saying the DEP is, releasing ownership, and the town can take it over.
Why does their letter say it's not needed?
Yeah, I caught that too.
There's 2 filter systems, I guess, in the boiler room. And I don't understand what was done a long time ago. He says your second filter system is the one that's filtering out all of the, he was saying the benzene. So,
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on in the boiler room.
No. Well, I think
So, he's just saying as far as like,
it looked like one system to me, but maybe not.
I don't know, and I want to talk to you guys, because I think we should call Ward Water again and find out, because they did a bunch of work in there and did some piping.
Well, they set it up originally.
Yeah, but I don't understand what's going on in there.
All right, well, I think before we sign anything, I'd like to read into it a little more, maybe it's more.
We can definitely call Nick. I have his call and text if you want to come in, and we can get him on speaker
Yeah,
and talk to him. He was very quick to explain everything, but whatever we have going on in there is filtering out the problem. However, he did only test for VOCs. As far as everything else goes, I don't know.
yeah, all right,
You wanna take this, Bob?
sure. I mean, I looked at it online, but,
When was that installed?
I don't know anything from it. I don't know.
was there a truck turned over or something around here?
Was it cut?
What year was that?
It was the janitor emptying his bucket out the back door that caused the pollution.
Oh, the seeped into the groundwater.
You do that for 50 years or so, and
Oh,
you
yeah.
build up with contaminants.
I think it was clearly, for chlorine, it was testing for chlorine, the truck wasn't hauling
The
chlorine.
DEP always said it was the truck that flipped over, but, we can talk to Nick more about it.
That happened,
truck can flip over, it rupture a fuel tank,
Just the fuel tank,
Yeah.
It didn't, I don't,
went in the ditch in front of the school here.
yes, 'cause, we had a couple guys get their gear ruined, and the insurance company had to replace it.
Randy keeps putting solar salt into the system regularly, so I'm not sure if that's what system he's actually maintaining. I don't know.
I'll see if I can figure something out.
Yeah, and I don't know if there's paperwork somewhere on systems and reasons, and definitely I think it's but
Good thing we still got Randy.
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
and he very well could know too what's what.
Yeah.
We checking for benzene, and that's a chlorinated product.
Well, there's a,
A lot of that fuel.
Yeah, oh, yeah, true.
it's, the report talks about volatile organic compounds,
Yeah,
Yeah, VOC.
which are fuel type things, I think, which showed up. But dichloroethylene
Right.
and, trichloroethane. And that was it. Now, what else do we have here?
Tricol's hot stuff.
yeah.
So, yeah, I just, what I didn't understand was well, he said we don't need it. But,
He said the other system is taking care of the problem, and I never understood that there were two systems in there
Yeah.
until he said that. So the reason he's releasing the equipment is basically to save town money of not taking it out.
yeah,
So,
So,
and we can point to which one he's talking about.
Yeah.
we can call him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right, I'll see if we can,
he's very nice.
I'm sure it's logical, but, I didn't see it, so, thank you.
Well, what do you got?
I'm gonna try to summarize some conversations I've had before and where we're now at, and we have to chew on it a little while and start making decisions, not necessarily tonight where we go. In the construction of these solar farms, we based the rate of pay for a construction permit based on $8 per thousand of the cost of the solar farm. And we have no back history on determining what the cost is, or where the cost comes from. And I know I had a conversation with David Crane, the first fellow in here, when they started looking at the solar farm across the street, and also Pat, another person. And I mentioned this, and I did the conversation on the rate, and I said, because we have no past history of experience, it really depended on your honesty and integrity of what these things cost. And so the Pike Lodge Trail, which we know is Maetta's solar farm, reported that their cost was $3,450,000. And Long Roads reported that their cost was $3,718,784, just about $3,800,000. Both solar farms are close to the same size, and their projected cost is close to the same. Long Road's slightly more, probably because they have more terrain to deal with, and their solar panels are articulating tipping where my other solar area, they're fixed. So based based on $8 a thousand, the Maya Pequot Trail paid a little over $26,000. And Long Roads paid $250 shy of $30,000, $29,750. Which, you can chew around as, is that enough, or is that too much, or how do we spend it, or what does it support, and so on and so forth. So lo and behold, even though these two have their CUPs, and I've awarded them the construction permit based on their rate and fees, I get these documents, they have to go through reviews and pass a lot of other governmental requirements, and one of the DEP has the Location of Development Act, and they put them through quite a rigorous examination, really oriented on ecology and land use, erosion, and on and on. In fact, Glenvale had 27 pages. Well, Pequot Trail says that their place cost $3,450,000, but their financial report to DEP was $11,260,000. Long Roads reported $3,800,000. Their report to DEP was $16,600,000. That means based on our $8 per thousand, when we got 26,000 plus from my edit, it should have been 88,000. And from Long Road, we got almost 30,000, it should have been 128,000. That means we got shorted 62,000 from Pequot, we got shorted 98,000 from Long Roads.
Yeah.
Now, I've initiated a letter to each of the two chief honchos of each situation a month ago. It was very calm, diplomatic, carefully crafted letter requesting a response of why, where the difference come from and why. Haven't heard a word in 1 month. So, we've got to chew on this a little bit. You know, there's a lot of issues. One is 26,000 enough? Of course, we can always use 88,000. And building permits tend to bolster the town budget in areas other than building, so on and so forth. So taking this a bit further, not only do we not know or have the background experience of the cost of these solar farms, we went with their honesty of $3 million plus. Is our rate $8 a thousand fair, or is there something else? So I've emailed 8 different town CEOs to find out what rates they use. I've gotten a response on 2. I did that a little more than 2 weeks ago, and last week I sent a reminder to the 6 that didn't respond. I still haven't heard anything. I think I'm going to have to make some phone calls and go door knocking and talk eyeball to eyeball and find out what's going on so we get more educated. And I also said in the email that when I correlate all this, I will share it back with them of how everything works. And it was also recommended, perhaps I should, I contacted Parsonsfield, Porter, Limerick, Leamington, Sebago, Hiram, Brownfield, and Standish. Probably I should go with Buxton and Gorham have some pretty good activities going. I should hit them up and see where they're going with it. Once I gather this information, we probably should start putting our heads together and decide, do we go after them? Do we drop it? Do we modify it? What do we do? So, good question, Mike.
Should at least be modified. We can't rely on their honesty.
That's a learning curve for us, too.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
I don't know what the.
I can only guess the month they gave us, $3,400,000 and $3,800,000. covers the cost of the panels, the frames to hold them up, the labor to put them in the ground, but doesn't cover anything else. And the forms I give them, says down here, permit fee, rate, $8 per thousand. Total PV array fabrication and site construction cost, all items, and we're still in that blank. That's where they put the $3 million on. So I was pretty clear. It's not just panels. And plus I talked to officials with, the median officials with, Long Roads when they were looking at the site across the street. So, there's a misunderstanding somewhere. So, I think I'll do a little more digging on fact finding of what rates should be. And obviously, since the construction permit's already been handed out, if they say you owe us another $62,000, they can say, go pound sand.
Yeah.
I would like to know what that number that they send to DEP stands for.
You know, we have a few more.
It talks about financing, right?
Pardon?
It talks about the financing cost.
Yeah.
So there might be more in it than just construction, but I don't know why it would be such a big discrepancy, that's all.
Without writing a paragraph, I thought my instructions was clear enough, but, you know, it basically, the roads to go in and out, lines, varying electric, inverters, you know, everything, shipments, everything. And the object was to make it easy, $8 a thousand to cover everything, rather than say, well, we're gonna charge you 30 cents a square foot for the panels, we're gonna charge you 20 cents a square foot for each pad, for each inverter, and we're gonna charge you such and such for each road you put in, and the 3,000 feet of fencing you put around, instead of breaking down like that to $8 per thousand, just a blanket coverage for everything.
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
And when I had the first conversation with them, they liked that.
Looking at them two figures, I see why they like it.
Yeah, okay. We have 3 more sites coming up. Walden 6 and Sebago are gonna be about the same size. We have now, they're around 16,000 panels. I think one is about 150 panels less, the other one's about 200 panels more than 16,000. So Walden 6 and Sebago Solar is about the same size. So we're getting a little smarter. We'll find out what they report for the cost, and I'll find out from DEP what they report as DEP. Glenvale has their CUP, but they haven't, and none of these 3 have come for their construction permit yet. Glenvale hasn't come for their construction permit. They reported, I already have on their DEP, instead of 11 million, 16 million, theirs cost 31 million. That means that I think $8 a thousand comes out to be $248,000. Do I get a raise?
What a percentage.
Okay, so we've got a dilemma that we need to think about, sleep about, talk about, and resolve it, and I'll get some more facts.
When I was talking, with solar people, I was given a rough cost of $1 million a megawatt.
Okay?
So,
They're around 6-7 megawatts.
well, is it AC or DC?
Yeah, there is difference.
They were talking AC.
Yeah, that's a little lower. That's a little lower. Yeah.
So, Long Road is 5 megawatts.
Yeah.
Just a tad under. Maya is 2, 3 megawatts.
No, I think it was 6.2.
I
Something
think
like
that's
that.
a DC. They're small.
It could be, yeah.
They're small.
I don't have it all memorized.
I don't either. I just, impression. But, I wonder if in asking around, the question to ask somebody at the state level might be, how much does one of these things cost per megawatt? it'd be a rough approximation.
The two answers I got from the two other CEOs was Sebago has not dealt with any solar installation, so they don't have a formula yet.
Yeah.
Porter charges 30 cents per square foot on the panels. So I figured that into 16,000 panels as compared to our fees. Let's go with Long Rose. Long Rose, we got just about $30,000. If we charge $8 a thousand on their 16 million, if that's 128,000, and that's 30 cents a foot, it's 72,000. So their 72,000 is higher than what we got, but it's lower than what we could get. And same with Pequawket Trail on Pequawket Trail. Do I have a note here on Pequawket Trail? No, I don't. So.
I need to understand.
30 cents a foot, going on purely square footage of panels. Is a way to go. I took that and I converted it to dollars per panel. Oh, and $2 a panel. We come up with something reasonable, but the definition of reasonable is what do we want? So it's, yeah, I think maybe after I get answers from all the CEOs, and if I go to someone in the state and.
There's a state guy who specializes in solar.
Yep.
Also, the Sanford would be another local town to ask.
Yep.
They've got a lot of the stuff going on.
A lot of it.
Yeah.
Well, I've got 8 fields out now. If I add Buxton and Gorham, that's 10.
Well,
I
and one
don't
of
know
the
what the saturation point is, but
you know, as you said, Sebago's reply was, we don't have any.
yeah, that's right.
You know, so it's worth it to ask people who have them.
Yeah.
And they're probably in the same shoes we are. They're experimenting and they aren't quite sure.
Well, the problem you got, they don't have the infrastructure to support it.
Yeah.
Right now, I mean, you've got the way to get the power out to the road and stuff, and you got 3-phase power, where some of these towns don't have that.
I think the most important place to make some headway is talking to the state, the people who this report gets submitted to. And what is it that number entails?
What the cost?
You say that they've reported to DEP a cost of $16 million. So what does the state think that number represents?
It was about 2 paragraphs, sort of an introductory, that the DEP was reviewing what was their financial stability. And their answer would go a little bit of memory now. It is basically, we are capable of supporting $11 million for the cost. They didn't say where they got the 11 million or where the million, but their statement was 11 million should cover everything so the job gets done. It was a financial statement to assure that there's stability, that their financial situation is stable.
So would you be charging building permit fees on archaeological surveys and DEP
That all makes it possible to happen. Yes.
Yeah, but when I build a house.
It's just like by building a house, you have to pay a surveyor to identify the land, you have to pay banks fees to loan money, and there's a lot that goes into houses that is not driving nails and cutting the wood.
If somebody comes in to build a house, you don't charge them the building permit fee on the design, right?
Our building permit fee is oriented on something different, square footage.
Well, whatever. I mean, you don't charge them for the design of the house, you charge them for the construction of the house.
That's correct.
Yeah. So I don't know what goes into that number that they've reported to DEP, but I think that's, would be the first place to find out.
Yeah, I find that, you know, and the solar farm is more than panels, you know.
Because I think
It's
Joe's doing an
grading,
important part.
it's cutting down the trees, it's making the roads, it's putting in pads for inverters, it's putting electrical lines, it's putting a fence around the place, all to make it happen. It's all physical. The gray area is, how much money is going to the 7 big cheeses sitting in the office making it happen? You know?
You charge a construction fee on that?
That's smoke and mirrors, that's smoke and mirrors. So, okay.
It would seem to me that the state must have some kind of records by this point in time of some of the, either per kilowatt cost or some of similar installations around the state. Whether we're privy to any of that information or not is a different question, but it seems like it must be out there, whether it's available to us.
I think the Information Act would cover that.
I think so, yeah, that's good. Yeah, that too.
Freedom of Information Act.
You know, I think the big issue at hand, though, is we've got two pieces of information that don't agree.
Mm-hmm. You betcha.
And
I know what.
how do we reconcile it?
Yeah.
So,
Okay. I'll see where we go with another one.
Well, you'll know to use the state figures instead of what they're giving you, the figures, right?
Yeah.
If you can get those figures.
I'll start trying, see what I can get. Okay.
All right, we got a quick claim deed time?
I'm sorry, we're not, yes, that was received in the mail from an attorney's office.
Okay.
The cover letter explains it all. I've never seen one of those before. As long as I've worked here, I didn't know that was a standard thing.
what's it for?
Foreclosure on a mortgage. They're asking the town to, sign a quick claim. And they prepared it as well, for a quick claim.
This is
It
something.
was on your desk, Jim. I don't know, it doesn't look like it was folded, so I don't know how it was received.
Yeah.
I think that was put on your desk, but I don't know how we got it, because it's obviously not folded, and there's no fax number on it.
No.
Somebody that we foreclosed on.
We did not foreclose on it.
Oh,
The bank foreclosed on them.
The bank will go for it. So we don't know.
From what I can understand.
This one that deals where we get dragged in what?
I think their ancient history is what they are.
What is it, Ron?
Their ancient history. So the undischarged tax lien against Robert Doak and Terry Doak in favor of the municipality in the amount of $130 recorded on 9/2/88. Undischarged tax lien against Robert Doak Jr. and Terry Doak in favor of the municipality in the amount of $107, 8/27/87. An undischarged tax lien against Nancy Hall in favor of the municipality of Walden in the amount of $93.0585. So what I don't know is, and you might be able to look at it, is whether they were actually paid or not, and the paperwork just wasn't done.
Yeah, I can look further into it. It was a knee-jerk reaction. I put your stuff on your desk and I saw it just laying there, so
Yeah.
I didn't have time to
How long
look into
have you
it.
had that?
I don't know.
He just died.
He might have just died, but
Well, is there a date on the
this
letter?
is a foreclosure, I don't know when, there's another date on it. On this one, which is unusual. And I don't know if it's, urgent request though. You think they dated if it was urgent? But these are all, very, very old tax liens. So it might be, like I said, that either they were, the property was sold, or the property was, returned to them, but the tax liens were not, canceled out.
I can go on the registry and figure it, look at it.
It's happened to me once.
Oh, okay.
Had a piece of property, but the tax lien was not cleared.
This goes with the, yes.
Yep.
So that's probably what they're trying to do, is
Yeah,
clear the books.
Okay.
That piece of property just completes its own here.
Oh,
The mobile home and the next place over here, that's
Okay.
where it is.
Not clear. Alrighty, Monday, October 11th, office will be closed for Indigenous People Day, also known as Columbus Day. Thursday, October 14th, planning board meeting, 7 p.m. You guys got anything tonight? No. Good. Wes, you got anything else?
Nothing else.
Paul?
Well, I have a question. I made a trip to the dump, Sunday, and while I was there, I noticed a great deal of construction going on in one site, which I was told was gonna be where they were relocating the recycling bins.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed to be a lot of work and a lot of expense, because the way the attendant explained to me, the recycling bins were gonna go in this spot, and the new scales were coming into the spot where the recycling bins are.
Yeah.
My question is, why would they go to that amount of work? Why not just put the scales, leave the recycling bins where they are and put the scales in the new spot? It just didn't make sense, because the way he explained it, there's a huge hole where those recycling bins are gonna go.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why, to me, it was like, why would you do that? Why would you move something and then put something that's gonna be kind of new installation in the place of where you're moving it?
I think it was the flow of traffic, wasn't it?
Well, no, the other thing was, you're gonna be throwing stuff down into them. Right now, you gotta go up over steps to get in one. They've had some issues with them steps over there.
All right.
So that's why they wanna get them down there, they're gonna have a slide, so the, the product slides down into them.
Yeah, it's all gonna be redone, revamped, and improved.
At a cost.
Yeah, yeah,
You missed the vote.
Pardon me?
You missed the town meeting.
yeah.
I know I'm not up to date on tri-town, and I'm sorry to say that, but, it just seemed, the explanation I was giving didn't make sense.
No,
And to spend that amount of money to move those and then put something in place of where you're moving them from.
No, it's part of a long-term plan that they got over there, so.
I hope it works, because I just signed a note today. Yeah.
and also, I think the flow coming in onto the scales
Yeah,
has a lot to do with it.
yeah.
But you'll be glad to know that we believe when the scales are put in, we can actually start operating on a pay-as-you-go type of basis. Right now, we're just kinda guessing on a lot of stuff.
I understand that.
And so with the scales, we'll be able to
We think we're losing
figure
money.
out what our charges are for a number of things.
For the big contractors. But for the little guy, if I throw 2 pieces of plywood in my truck and take it over, it's gonna cost me a minimum of $10 just to get rid of that.
Well, that should be about.
Now if I can weigh it and it charges me $1, I'll be happy. Just a thought, that's all I have.
If you just, to throw something at you, not that long ago, we was paying $68 a ton to get rid of stuff. Now we're banging almost 100,
Really.
you know, yeah,
For the recycling,
yeah.
because it's gone up that much, there more people are recycling, I'm sure, than a few years ago.
Well, what's happening, they only wanna take so much stuff in, so they've raised the price, so they're not, you get more than what they can handle.
Yeah.
So with a set of scales, we'll be able to track that a little bit better.
But that scales is not gonna weigh it's only gonna weigh the construction debris, right? I mean,
Yeah, it is bulky waste, isn't it?
Well, it can weigh the truck too when it gets out.
Right, I mean,
You know,
like regular trash, it won't be weighing it. No. Like bulky waste is construction material,
Yeah.
Yeah. Bulky waste is killing us,
yeah.
you know? I mean, when you send a truck to Portland, he's only got 12 ton on, you know, but he's maxed, he's cubed out before he's weighs out, so.
Hopefully.
okay.
Daddy,
No,
Good. Danielle?
I'm good, thank you.
Bob?
Nope.
Good.
Well, I gotta get together with Bruce and stuff to find out if he's done anything on the ladder truck for Standish to put that flag up here and stuff, so.
Yeah.
That's one thing I had. Dale Minus, what is the name I was trying to find today,
Call him.
yeah.
Is he in the shop for today?
I think so.
Okay.
It's D&J Construction.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, that's what I'm
Yeah,
looking for.
yeah.
Okay,
I was trying to think of it.
His wife's name's Jen.
Yeah, yeah.
thank you. Oh, I did, I spoke with Brian this morning, and he, wants to wait another week to see if there's more applications. We have 3 right now. I emailed Carol around 10 o'clock Monday morning to run the ad again. Then I went online and it hadn't been updated, so hoping that ad got back in. He wants to wait 1 more week.
Okay.
He's screening sand and salt and all that right now. So.
3 people so far though,
What's that?
3 applicants?
3 applicants,
I'm
yep.
surprised. I'm surprised. All right, do I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second? All in favor?
I think we ought to thank Paul too for this.
Yeah.
Table,
Table,
chairs.
this is nice.
Yeah, you
We
done
like-
well.
I had too many guys